Alright, so this is part two of Feasting with the Fireflies, and it's The Devil's Rejects. Honestly, one of my all-time favorite movies, and I can almost watch it every single day of the week. But, watch the deep dive to get my full thoughts on it, and now, to our feature presentation. We're back! And I'm not hydrating. Alright. So last time we saw the farm, So the next movie is 7 months later.
Is it supposed to be 7 months
It's
later?
supposed to be 7 months later. They finally get a warrant to raid the farm, and you see the cop's brother from the first film show up. And before this, like, the first scene you see is Tiny dragging a girl through the woods. He sees the cops, and I think he knows to stay away. Tiny's not an idiot. He just doesn't speak, which he should speak. He's got one of those horror voices that sounds like he's speaking in tongues to you already. Because this guy's got giantism, and who, well, like Andre the Giant, Big Show versions of lots of bass for their voice. Now, they do a raid on the farm. I do want to point out that Otis's mask was a skull that he had in like the first film as his face paint on his armor. And you have them fighting off the cops until they throw in a smoke bomb. And these guys are still going. These smoke bombs are supposed to neutralize people. They're supposed to almost make people cry so that they can go in and capture them. Otis and Baby escape, and then you have Mama going into custody with Rufus dying, which starts off the credits, which is the Allman Brother Band, Midnight Rider. I will say this movie had a really good soundtrack. If not, some of my favorite songs were discovered through this movie, but at least some songs that I'll still listen to. Like, I would probably never listen to Midnight Rider by the Allman Brother Band if I did not know it was in this film. They stab a girl. The next scene you see is the cops downstairs going through some photographs. They recognize the cop. And then you get Captain Spaulding in bed with a girl that he calls her, like, he says something along the lines of, "Next time you're going to have to pay me for this." And she's like, "Did you just call me a whore?" I calls them as I sees them. And she starts aiming the gun at his head, saying, "Laugh, motherfucker, laugh." And then he wakes up. He's got Mama June in bed with him. He's a girl that looks like Mama June.
A big old lady.
Big old lady. He gets a call from Baby after he's pissed off that his commercial is getting interrupted by if he's watching the raid on the farmhouse. But he's already pissed off because someone's already calling at this ungodly hour. The left from Big Bang Theory.
Never seen Big Bang Theory.
Oh, so we don't forget. There's a scene in Big Bang Theory of Raj and Howard watching House of a Thousand Corpses. And they are just, they're offended. They're just like, okay, so we've seen a guy get turned into a fish man after this guy's wearing the, it's just, it's a funny scene. I'll show you afterwards. Spaulding's told to leave. And then these guys find a hotel. They take the band, Banjo and Sullivan, which was a country band, hostage. To show that they're not fucking around. Can't remember his name, but he's a metalhead comedian. The big guy. He's also in Big Bang Theory. Mike Possier? Possier?
No idea.
He does this music called, or he does this metal album called New Music Sucks. And it's, I'll show you this guy too, but
Yeah.
he wants to be a rodeo clown, but, you know, they're like, oh, you don't need to do that. Oh, go get some beef jerkies.
Or he's kind of like the roadie at the time.
Yeah, the roadie. He gets shot right away by Otis.
Okay, that scene was fucked up. Like, he knocks on the, or he goes to, no, he knocks on the door, and then he's like, what's going on in here? And then bang, he's dead.
No second guessing, like, he's already dead. I think they're the only people in this motel.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. They tortured them for a couple hours.
With my favorite Sherry Moon zombie thing.
Do it.
Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees. Look at these.
Otis then
Boing.
rapes, or not rape, yeah, he sexually rapes the one girl by forcing her to give him a blowjob, and he's aiming the gun at everybody. And after that, he's like, "Hey, well, me and the boys are going to go grab some stuff. You girls have a good time," or something along those lines. My favorite scene comes up where Otis is torturing. No, before that, a scene that we both love. Spalding runs out of. Spalding calls his brother, tells him that he's coming down. Then I think you then skip to the Chinese during these part. Then you skip back to Cutter. He's running out of gas. He needs a new vehicle. He sees this mom and kid on their way somewhere, and the mom's already, I'm already running late.
Mom, look, clown.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to be having to reprimand your vehicle. You see, I got some mighty fine clown stuff that I
got some clown business I need to attend to.
Yeah. What do you mean about clown business? Did I stutter?
Bitch.
And then she just closes her son's door, and then she's walking away. And he's like, "Don't you ever walk away from a clown when he's talking to you." Headbutts her. She goes down. He gets into the car with the boy. And the thing I loved about watching 30 Days of Hell is Sid was totally this kid's best friend. Up until he had to make him cry.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "What's the matter, boy? You don't like clowns? Why?
Don't we make you laugh?
Aren't we fucking funny? You best have a reason for not liking clowns, or I'm going to come back here and kill your entire family."
Now, I didn't like this scene because as soon as he gets in the car, he kind of looks over just like, "What you doing here, kid?" But no, it's just like, then he does that. But then the kid is supposed to be crying, but it looks like the kid is just smiling through the whole thing, just...
He's nervous. He's like, he has no idea. He just saw his mom get fucking laid out.
Well, I'm looking at like the actor, like the kid was. It seemed like the kid was just so happy to be part of a movie.
Well, I don't know if this kid's been in anything else, but
I don't think so. But
we do have to acknowledge that kid actors are not always going to be like a Macaulay Culkin or anyone like that.
No, but still, this kid did such a great job.
Yeah, he did. Then we go up to the whole scene that I love. And Otis is totally fucking with these guys. And he was playing with stuff and stuff turned on. And he basically smells his gun and he's just like, "Oh man, I think your wife left some pussy steak on my gun." They get to the point where he says, "Well, there's nothing what to it. After you guys are done helping me dig up these guns, you guys That's the end of the road. And then they go with, "You're not going to kill us." Well, killing sounds so permanent. And besides, who the fuck are you? I'm Willy Wonka. This is my chocolate factory. And they gang up on him because when he does that, he points the gun at the other guy. The other guy grabs a stick, hits him in the back with it. But Otis ain't going down like that. He's getting choked by this one guy, and then he basically stabs the other guy in the knee. He aims the gun at Roy, shoots him, and then he does his most iconic scene. Like this is the creme of the creme for Otis killing scenes. He forces the old guy to pray that lightning comes and strikes him down. And he then basically does this whole thing where he pulls his hair apart and says, "I am the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work." Line straight from the Manson family.
Mm-hmm.
One of the I hate bringing like
Real life
stuff and like holy crap, but when you have a good line like that, it's a good line. It's almost like Jack the Ripper finishing his letter with "From Hell." Or Gacy telling people to kiss his ass when he dies. Like, these aren't cool for the sake of being cool. These are badass. Because it is fucking badass. Like, it's kind of metal in a sense.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, it's that style of badass. So, he does that. He kills Roy. Or, no, he kills Banjo or Sullivan.
One of them.
One of them. He kills the old man. Comes back, and then he starts taking off the guy's skin. Which, if you need to know, Otis is the king of the dead skin mask in these films.
Mm-hmm.
He does it in all these films, except for the last one. He does them in 2 out of 3 of these films. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Baby's playing her psychological warfare with these chicks. So one needs to go to the washroom. The other one is told to slap the other one. And there's like 4 slaps, and she's like, harder. Like, if you don't make this next one fucking count, you know,
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm gonna kill you. So she slaps her and then goes to the washroom after telling Baby she's having a wonderful time. And then the other woman grabs the gun, points it at her, and she's like, "You're gonna shoot me? You're gonna shoot me?" And then I think she has like a shard of glass or something, or her knife.
Pocket knife, yeah.
She throws it, gets it right between the tits. Then the one scene I'm always like, you should just leave that in because you're not a surgeon. You shouldn't be pulling stuff in. Like, get someone who knows what they're doing. She pulls out the knife. She's told to shoot her right on her ass. She finds out that there's no bullets in Baby's gun. So all the bullets are in Otis's gun. It's this psychological warfare. The other girl runs out. Spaulding arrives, knocks that bitch out at Baby's request. I don't know if we said this, but it appears in these films that Baby and Spaulding are father and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say that's canon.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Then you have Otis showing up. Him and Spaulding get into an argument. She recognizes that the mask that Otis comes in on is her dead husband. They put it on her face and then leave her for the maid to clean up. Next scene, she chases the maid out of the fucking room.
She doesn't really chase. Well, I guess she does, but it's unintentional. I think she's just trying to get help, and then the maid's scared.
Maid runs somewhere. She runs right into traffic and gets hit by a semi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say if we're doing a kill count, I don't think that counts as one of theirs.
No.
because she could have easily survived. The next thing you see is you're introduced to two of your favorite actors probably ever star in a horror film. I want to get their actual names because did we accidentally steal their names? Oh, he's retired?
Yep.
He's a retired. All Elite. He wasn't in All Elite that long. Well, let's be honest. No one's in Elite that long.
No.
Okay, so the Unholy Two.
That's what it was.
They're the Unholy Two. I'm gonna leave that just in case.
Yep.
Unholy Two.
What were their names though?
Good question. So we'll
Go. No, let's go down. Back to where you were. Up.
No, we
Oh no, yeah, right there.
Billy Ray Snapper and Rondo.
Billy Ray Snapper, played by DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. And Rondo was played by who you call Machete every time.
Yeah, Danny Trejo.
Trejo.
I don't read Spanish that often. When I go to the store, I buy a bag of jalapeno chips. Oh, Ricky, it's jalapeno. Jalapeno. I don't think he watches Trailer Park Boys. It's a great show.
That's what I've heard.
So they go into getting bounty hunters to help find the Fireflies. While investigating, they discover associate of Spaulding's named Charlie. White Owl begins to lose his sanity when Mother Firefly reveals that she's the one that murdered his brother. After a dream in which the brother commands him to avenge his death, White Owl stabs Mother Firefly to death. The surviving Fireflies gather, so they're on the move. I will be remiss if I do not mention this scene. At some point, they pass a sign saying ice cream. 15 minutes. 15 miles, whatever. And it gets Captain Spaulding and Baby wanting some ice cream. And he's just like, 2 minutes for the kid. Would that really kill you? Yes, I've calculated this whole trip. 2 minutes is the exact time it will kill me. And then...
that's where Otis starts saying like how he hates clowns, right?
Yeah.
Was it this scene where he mentions that?
No, he's always hated clowns. He's brought that up multiple times. This is where they're like, you know what kind of ice cream I'll take? I'll take some Tutti fucking Fruity. Which, true story, I got actually banned from a yogurt shop about 8 years ago. It was called Tutti Fruity. And I would always, I got kicked out for always swearing, because I'd be like, I am loving this Tutti fucking Fruity. And the one manager's like, okay, no, you're out of here. You're banned. Why? Because you always swear when you come in here. It's like, you don't get the reference. She's like, you don't get the point that you can't swear in this restaurant.
Oh, Tutti fucking Fruity.
So, I thought it was cool, but I was just being a fucking asshole.
I'm looking at this. Was that in?
That was in Confed. That was right near Mr. Sub. Anyways, going back to this, they stop for ice cream. Now, then they gather at the brothel owned by Charlie, where he does offer to shelter them from the police. Then the next morning, after they're up all night partying, they decide to go and buy some chickens, some Rhode Island red chickens. And the one farmer's basically saying, well, you know, if you cut their head off and shove your dick in there, and they go, "Cat," and all that stuff, it feels better. And then he's like, "Are you accusing me of being a chicken fucker?" Oh no, sir, but that guy over there seems like he'd be a chicken fucker. The other guy looks a lot like Tiny as well. So I thought it would have been funny if Tiny played both roles, but fuck it. What Wydell basically threatens Charlie to give up the Fireflies.
I think you mixed something up. Wasn't the ice cream at the end of the movie?
Oh no, no, it was while they were going. Um, it won't say it here because that is such a
Minor.
minor scene, but no, that is on the way. They're still driving the Banjo Sullivan van upon going there. It was just a thrown away scene like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the next night, you see Spalding and Charlie just kind of hanging out. Spalding's doing coke with Charlie, and he just takes a joint because Charlie's like, "I like my cocaine better," something like that. You see Otis is in bed with Candy. Candy's would it be alright to call her a woman of the night, or should I just say whore? Woman of the night.
Yeah.
She is a woman of the night. They're sleeping together. Baby's bathing, which, if you were ever going to get a scene of naked Sherry Moon, that was the scene. I don't want to see Rob star his wife like that, but, you know, that could have been the scene where you could have seen that.
I'm looking it up. I don't care.
Which one? Oh, never mind. I don't want to say it. So the sheriff takes the family back after they are captured, which DDP comes in and shoots the. Who does DDP go after?
He goes after Otis.
Otis, and then Rango goes after Baby, and then Wydell goes after Spalding. They're able to get them when they're not really looking. And then he brings them back to the farmhouse, tortures them there, basically takes a picture of like random victims, and he's stapling each victim onto each person. He tortures Otis and Spalding with a cattle prod, and then he taunts Baby about the death of her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a point where he starts. He basically takes Otis's hands and he nails them into the chair. And then Wydell sets the house on fire, leaves Otis and Spalding to burn, but he lets Baby loose so he can hunt her down on the spot, very similar to that chasing of the rabbit scene from the first movie.
And this is the point, like, when I first watched this movie, this is the point where I'm just like, who's the good guy? Because I'm kind of cheering for these killers to, like, live. There's that part specifically where I'm just like...
I think as soon as Charlie betrays them, you start cheering for them, because it's like
they just
an unintentional face turn, where it proves that almost everyone's out to get this family. Then Wydell sets fire to the house, and then he goes out, and this is the scene where I think if he did not ring the food bell, Tiny would not have heard it and came back to the house. It might be like, no, that's not what happened, but he rings the bell, and then he goes after her. Charlie comes back, but Wydell kills him. And then Baby gets shot in the calf of her leg, really horsewhipped, and then strangled by Wydell. Then Tiny shows up, breaks Wydell's neck, and then he goes inside and saves Spalding and Otis. Now, what's a really sad scene is Tiny could leave with them. He decides, no, I'm going to go inside of the house and burn inside the house.
Why did he do that though? This is the part where I'm really confused.
I think Tiny just was done. Like they were like the next scene, they were trying to just wipe out all the Fireflies so that it was only going to be 2 movies. These movies, like, if your inspiration is correct about how they're 2 separate movies, I would agree with that because they were shot very differently from one another. Like this one's shot more of a Western style on the run.
Mm-hmm.
So this is shot very like a Bonnie and Clyde. This is shot basically very similar to some Westerns like not Logan but Shane and all that stuff. All these like older movies that are movies that Zombie probably watched while he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We watched while we were a kid, so there's like that nice little callback to some old movies. And like even Zombie put in the Groucho brothers movie names, Otis Driftwood, Captain Spaulding. Like he's wanting his fans to go back and discover some of this stuff, that like some of the stuff he watched as a kid. Um, it's really hard to say who the heroes of the films are, but I think it's just something Zombie said where he wanted by the end of this movie you to secretly be rooting for the Firefly. Now, a teacher in school told me that this movie is terrible. It has no liking characters. It's bad on everything. Um, so the end of the film comes. It's you're either gonna love the end of the film or you're gonna hate the end of the film. I love the end of the film, but this is where they're trying to goat you into. Oh, these were just fun-loving guys. See how they're kind of like bouncing in and dancing with each other. How they're just. And when were those scenes shot? Like, at what point were those scenes shot at? Because they've been on the run. Like, they all collect halfway through the movie. So those scenes must have been shot while they were getting fucking tutti fucking fruity ice cream.
Hmm.
Because you see them having a good time, and then Freebird's playing towards the end where they're not the end, but the end of the second course where it's like, and as a bird I cannot change. Whoa, cannot change. Won't you fly high? Free bird. And like when the solo kicks in, these guys are going. The biggest thing you should watch is Otis is giving Spaulding the biggest gut, being like, you know what? I'm not bowing to you, but I am acknowledging. So they go, and this is where I would love to just be like, that's our review of these movies. But they get shot 39 times each. They should be dead. They should be done. That's where the film ends. I was kind of like, maybe there's an after credit scene. Because I'm geared to after credit scenes now. There's not. The movie just ends with them dying in a police shootout. They speed towards the barricade, guns blazing as police return fire, fading to black. Yeah, so the budget of this film was another $7 million. The box office was 2.9. We're going to see if there's any rewards. Rotten Tomatoes has given this a 50-50%. Again, we don't go off of Rotten Tomatoes. Zombie has improved as a filmmaker since House of Thousand Corpses and will please fans of the genre, but beware. The horror is nasty, relentless, and sadistic. That says it's going to be a good movie. Someone who actually matters, Robert Ebert, there's actually some good writing and good acting here. If you can step away from the violent material enough to see it. he got in trouble. I received some appalled feedback when I praised Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects, but I admire two things about it: the desire to entertain, not merely to sicken, and its depraved killers were individuals with personality, histories, and motives. So, Robert Ebert said it was good. Now, we got a lot of awards to get through. Let's start with the Chainsaw Awards. This film won Best Wide Release Film, Killer Movie, Screenplay. Best Actor went to Sid Haig. That's good. Best Supporting Actor went to William Forsythe.
Oh, is that the cop?
Go down to see if he's the actual cop. It might be the cop. Sheriff, yep.
I knew it. Lydell.
Lydell won for Best Supporting Actor. Best Villain was nominated, but Sid Haig didn't win. Relationship from Hell was given to Bill Moseley and Sherry Moon Zombie. I wouldn't say that's a relationship. Well, I guess it's brothers.
What? Brother, sister.
Yeah. Mother Firefly, I believe.
Yeah, that'd have to be. But then,
Mother Firefly.
Yeah. Down.
Yeah, Mother Firefly. So, this film won almost every award at the Chainsaw. It was just missing Best Villain.
The one that probably pisses you off the most is
Blind That Killed.
Yeah, that should have gone to Bill Moseley for sure.
Yeah. Scream Awards, it won the Most Vile Villains and Best Horror Movie. And then the rest were just nothing. So, I have thought about this since we made our top 5 movies. I know, and we can both look at this, and I know it's won awards for awards for horror and all that stuff. And we've seen it's a black comedy horror film. Would you consider this a true horror film?
I'd say so.
Okay, because I've had like conversations where it's more of a western. It's got a lot of stuff in it, but then again, I just watched a musical Christmas film about zombies today, so I really don't think I have what is a horror. Does this count?
Well,
it's got a lot of gore.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of kill scenes. It's got psychological warfare.
And to me, like, my definition of horror is, like, if it still freaks you out after you watch a movie, like, it's just, to me, it's, the reason why it's still messes with me is because that could be anyone walking in the street. They could be doing those things, because they've probably walked by a dozen people in a day, and...
Angel and Sullivan, when, really should look these guys, like, what their actual names are. When the one guy is looking at the other guy's wife, and she's like, can you turn the channel? And he's just like, they're just trying to give you news ratings. Like, he doesn't expect that these 2 killers are going to show up in some film. He's not expecting it. And I think that's the scariest thing, is the fact that you're not expecting a stranger to do these things. So going, I don't think we really have to talk about inspiration for this film.
No, not really.
I think this film is better than House of Thousand Corpses due to the fact that it doesn't remind me of other movies. It
Mm,
will remind me of other movies the more I think about old school westerns and movies that have that kind of moving plot line from one scene to another scene. Because you're not stuck at the Firefly house for this film. You're able to go to the other locations, such as the motel, such as um, such as the brothel, and back to the house. Like you're given kind of like different locations than one thing shot on one location, so it's easier to compare The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre to House of Thousand Corpses, but it's harder to compare other movies to Devil's Rejects. It feels like it's its own movie
yeah.
where you do for all these films, be it in the last film, um, they can be standalone movies. You do not need to know the one little small detail, the one scene in the film of Mother Firefly shooting the first Whiteout brother
No.
to enjoy Devil's Rejects. You don't even have to know that there's a sequel to enjoy House of Thousand Corpses. You can just watch that as a one film. And I think that's more of what Zombie meant. Is you can watch these films separate. It's not like you're watching Spider-Man 2, where, oh, why is Harry and Peter mad at each other? To get
Exactly.
what's going on. You know, well, why is Harry mad at Spider-Man? So, we are going on another 5 minute. Oh,
1 second. I did this last time. The kills for this movie.
hmm.
Who do you think has the most?
All right. So I'm going to disregard return fire from police to the Fireflies. It happens in two scenes. You do not know who shoots who during that. Um, so I'm going based off the start of Midnight Rider. Otis gets a kill on the girl that they're stealing the car from. Otis gets the kill on Jimmy. Otis then gets the kill on both D'Angelo and Sullivan. Um, Baby gets a kill in on one of the girls, the older one.
Mhm.
But we're going to be counting Otis's kills. So that's 4 right there. Oh, he really doesn't kill as much as I think he does when you're actually counting, because
That's on screen kill.
yeah, that's on screen kill. So Otis would have 4. Baby would have 1. Spalding, surprisingly, I did not count a single kill.
Nope. All of his kills were off camera at this
And
movie.
then Tiny had 1 kill at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really go on a path of like killing, but I'm going to say Otis with 4 kills.
Okay, so that's on screen. On the website here, there's a lot of rating. I'm just going to say Otis has a total kill with off-screen kills of 43. Let's see here. Baby has a total of 7. And then Spalding has a total of 4. But those were off scene. You just see the bodies.
Oh, are they adding the kills from? Go back to Otis. Okay, girl.
Wait, Devil's Reject. Oh no, I think that's Spalding again. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Named police officer, 2 unnamed girls, teenager. Yeah, that's
Like, see, it doesn't even.
no. So I'm going based off to go back down where you're like three police officers. I'm not counting that because you don't know who shot.
Yeah, like I wish it was said on camera.
Yeah, but it's got the four I was talking about. So, is there anything else we need to talk about Devil's Rejects? Because I could talk about the score for this movie.
Oh yeah, you really could.
I could talk about how much better this film was shot compared to the first one. You don't have those weird, unneeded scenes. Every scene in this movie, well, besides what we said with the Tutti Frutti side of stuff, but that's just to add likability to these characters. It starts off with a really good banger of Midnight Rider. You get what was that other good one?
That fool around and
Rock.
fell in love.
What? Yeah,
Fool-
yeah. They had that during the scene when they were driving to pick up the guns, and Otis is like, "Hey Hoss, do you like this song?" But it's okay, I guess. Well, you're just a pretend fucking cowboy then.
Oh, that's right
Yeah.
too.
Rocky Mountain Way, and I have to say Free Birthday. It was so good. The film went through the MPAA 8 times, earning an NC-17 rating until the last one. According to Rob Zombie, the censors had a problem with the overall tone of the film. Specifically, censors did not like the motel scene between Bill Moseley and
Priscilla Barnes.
forcing Zombie to cut 2 minutes of it for the theatrical release. However, this footage was restored in the unrated DVD release. Meaning, I don't think this film loses anything. So there's no missing footage. I do wish we could see the missing footage from House of Thousand Corpses.
Yeah. But with all that being said, I think it's time for a second break, hey?
Yep. Second break. So when we get back, we get to talk about one of my least favorite films. But
Probably one of my favorite films.
Three from Hell?
Yep.
That is fair. Again, I don't think I like it that much because I was so amped up for it and it let me down so hard.
A lot of people were let down by it, they say.
But we will have to talk about that more when we come back for our final part of Feasting with the Fireflies.